Spartans! What is your profession? This is Sparta!
What is going on, everybody? We're back at another episode. So I apologize on the angle of the camera. I am actually working on some little upgrades here, so bear with me for today. But as always, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. It will mean the world to me. So tonight's episode. Sorry, guys, I'm still fighting this little cough. Tonight's episode it will be dedicated to Paul's mother, because she did suffer from a lot mental issues. So I kind of want to touch base today a little bit with you guys with the medication part of the mental health. We don't think about that part, we don't talk about that part, but it is a serious part of it. We every day talk about what is mental health, how to prevent this, how do we do this, how do we do that, how do we do all this stuff. We but we don't talk about the medication part of it. On how many medication is somebody, how safe these medications are, or how can they fuck you up even more. These medications are, I think personally, they're experimental. Personally, when I went through my mental issues, thank God I never got to the point I needed medication. But some people do need medication. There's nothing wrong with that. But what gets me nervous, some of them say you turn around, like let's say, let's turn around, for example, oh, may have suicide thoughts. Huh? Say again? Suicide? Yeah, that's my issue with it. Even quitting smoking, something like that is called. It was a supplement, excuse me, a medication we're using quit smoking for a long time. But the problem with that was it also caused suicide thoughts. That's where I have issues with some of this stuff. So, mental health issue has been a problem for years, obviously. It has been now or then, it's been around for a long time. Excuse me. Medication is one of the tools to help fight or cure mental issues. I don't think you ever get cured from mental issues. I think you kind of like put them a little bit in the back burner. You depress them a little bit. So that's one. So of of discovering a new way to handle things. Yes, I believe in that. Maybe the thing you knew for the longest time is not the same. So you need to figure out a different way to handle things. And again, that is nothing wrong with that. And it's okay. Uh give me 1 second. So we definitely need that. But we never talk about it, tackle this. We talk about anxiety, depression. We talk about suicide. We talk about um, split personalities. We talk about every mental issue, but the medication part of it, I don't know a lot about it. I'm hoping Paul gets on here and he actually clears some air for us, because this is more his problem, because he dealt with it and his mother. But the little bit I do know, I'm gonna do the best I can till Paul gets up here, because I really need him up here. This one. Hey, what is going on, Mariana? Hey, Mariana, you should join us tonight. I'd like to see your point of view of mental issue medication. What was I? These mental issue workarounds, let's say, for it, is affected by a chemical misbalance in your brain. And it has been proven study that's where it comes from. But some of these also chemical misbalance could suffer from anxiety, seizures, suicide thoughts, and so on. There are different levels here, obviously. And that is where now I get a little lost. I have some notes here, but not a lot. Some of these terms I cannot pronounce with my life depending on it. So as I'm reading these off, I'm going to put them in the chats because I cannot pronounce the words. Antidepressant, that one I can understand, is used for battling depression. Depression also follows with anxiety. So those go hand in hand usually. Or separation or anything like that stuff. Where is the thing I'm looking for? Is also a pain. Common typical issues is SSRIs. That stands for, hang on, let me go closer to the other screen, is selected steroid panic increments. I'm gonna put that in a goddamn chat because I cannot pronounce. I know I butchered the shit out of that. Again, I'm not no doctor, but it's something we need to talk about. All right, there you go. You guys can diagnose that any way you want. And the second one again is called SNRS. Again, I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna put this also in the chats because these are gonna be like tongue twisters for me. So guys, bear with me tonight. All right, that is one version why we take medication for mental. Psychologist. Man, I wish I could pronounce these goddamn fucking words. Primarily used for psychology and bipolar disorder. Remember, guys, bipolar, it is a form of mental issues. These medication helps to manage cycle and mood swings. Drugs like, I'm not even gonna be able to pronounce these two. Ripton and Olazon falls into this category. In other words, so if you have multiple personalities, like bipolar or any of those types, this is the one you want to take. This A. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just reading off what this says. The notes. Okay, mood stable. Mood savers are often used for stabilizing your mood. Pretty self-explanatory, I believe in that one. And anti-anxiety and stabilizing is these meant to help manage anxiety and include balance in your life. Uh, Usually effective for short-term relief, but could be addictive. There's the yellow flag. Some of these are very addictive, so you gotta be careful what you take. Again, you cannot just go in the store and buy this. You have to be prescribed. So many times it's something addictive, they'll probably monitor you, obviously. Steve Bowling using primate for 8D8. I probably was getting it. ADHD. I think most of us knows what that is. I'm not gonna get into too much deep. So it's pretty much where you cannot focus. So key side effects. Most of these are, and then again the notes again. Dizziness, weight loss, weight gain, and so on. Motivation is gonna be down. Not motivation, they're not in jazz. So the thing with those, like I said, you are taking a risk by taking these. Simple. Let's be straight up here, guys. That is weird. Why is it not? I just realized I was on the wrong topic the whole time. Oops. It's okay. Let's switch topics really fast. Let's get back to our right topic. It's been a long day. Let me get the right notes. I got my days mixed up. You know when you're live like I am right now, and you do the wrong thing, and you're so embarrassed because you did the wrong topic, and you feel stupid? Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I read the wrong topic. So today was supposed to be is your head on right, because again, this also is dedicated to Paul Mother. Develop into the. I just didn't admit it, guys, because I feel stupid right now. I feel embarrassed. I read the wrong topic, and I have right in the corner up there. I didn't. Yeah, that's how stupid I feel. So yeah, as I'm trying to get my head back on right personally, because I feel like I'm so stupid right now. Guys, remember I will be at Comic-Con Saturday, so say hi, come and give me a high five, get Paul's autograph, and please don't make fun of me because I read the wrong topic by accident. So it's your head on right. That is a big question on a lot of people, because with all these mental issues, whose head is on right anymore? Probably nobody's. It's probably most times you think you're okay and you're not. Definitely men who pretend to be tough men. We don't have emotions. Yeah, bullshit. We carry more emotions than anybody. They say a woman has more emotions during her month. No. A man who's struggling and has so much to take in, that's who has more emotions. So, what it was supposed to be my open dialogue is into the mental clinics, mental issues days. Focus on how I maintain a clean and balanced mindset for navigating daily, like the decisions marketing. The show can explore topics meaning health, obviously mental health. Emotions can run wild. Emotions can get better of us. Emotions can go crazy. But how, through or unexpectedly, issues can cloud our judgments. And that's the thing. A lot of things can change and make you cloud who you are, cloud your judgment, cloud how where you come from. And that's where you need to stop. Take a deep breath and focus. That is very important to focus. Let me check out one thing. All right. So, yeah, I am going to beat myself up because I should have double checked my notes. I should double check my schedule because I put the schedule out as the host, the creator, and the founder of this channel. Yeah, definitely under my responsibility. I should double check myself. But as much as I don't blame work, it was a long day, and it was a long fucking day. Yeah, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It was a long day, and I screwed up big time. I ran the wrong topic, like a moron I am, and I know better. I know a lot better to not double check myself. And first time I didn't, and this what happened. And I need to keep myself on. You know what? Oh, look who's here. A fellow Greek. You know what? I totally forgot. Before I do that, let me get his uh earthquake ass in here.
Ah,
What is going on, my brother?
buddy. I'm good. I'm good. I was kind of really busy doing a lot.
Oh, really?
Uh,
What's going on?
well, let's see. I had a PTA meeting with one of my daughter. Then after that, I got my phone what I need to get replaced because something went wrong with my phone the other day. I was not able to call out on my phone, but I could receive phone. So right now the phone came in kind of early. So I'm trying to make sure the migration from the old phone to the new phone done properly. Other than that, I'm okay, but when I saw the topic, I was like, okay, I'm completely out of my place on this one.
Actually, I fucked up. I gave you the wrong topic because I mixed up my dates. So today is your head on right?
I know, and that topic concerning mental health, I am. When I say I'm out of place, the guy with I wish he could come on the panel, Dr. Makumbe, is the expert in this area. But
He
for
is.
me,
He's
but
MIA right now for a while. I know.
I know that guy
He's,
have been a he have been a major help to me. It's been part of my growth in a short period of
but
time.
the little we do know about mental, let's talk about that. We know a little bit. So, and let's see,
I know the stigma of it, but
hang
if
on
you
a
want me to
second
break it
before we
down,
go. Before you go, guys, I did drop the link in the chat in the chats. Please, if you want to come up, come up. Camera has to be on, and camera on, no masks on, please, because I don't want to deal with that stuff. But if you want to come out, you're
no,
more than welcome to.
I
And
understand when people wear masks because of the identity issue, especially those who calling from abroad, because we don't understand the jurisdiction where they're living at, like it in Shanghai, China, whatever country they live in. We don't understand that we can put their livelihood in jeopardy if they have to expose their faith. We have
mhm.
a federal content creator like Joshua or Josh. Another dude work for the federal government, but he cannot expose his faith. We understand that. Why? So I want to be pushed back on certain people because we don't know where they at could either endanger them
Okay,
or
so I will allow you come on with a mask on, but the camera must be on at least.
make sense.
Okay, I think that's fair. So the floor is yours,
Yeah.
David. Go ahead.
Now, concerning mental health, this has been a major, major topic that you cannot gloss over within the black community, but also the African diaspora. Because, for one, There's so many times we have this conversation about mental health, why it's a stigma for black people to talk about it or for black men to speak upon it because of how we were brought up, how we grew up, and so on and so forth. I'll say that as an African, it's lately now they're not speaking about it more, but before then, it was considered to be a spiritual issue. It was never a medical issue or a mental issue. When a person lose their mind, they say, "Oh, he got demonic oppressed, or the demon took over his mind, or he lost his marble." Just leave him like that. There was never been any help being taken care of for these people back in my country, and that has been never due to their understanding concerning mental health. Out here in the black community, it never be spoke upon because of one, we don't realize our upbringing can either cause us to lose our marble one way or the other, which is very, very critical. Which is why I would emphasize for every grown ass man in your early 20s to your 60 or so, you need to speak to somebody. You never know what you may be repeating in your life could be a trauma based on your upbringing. Now, yeah, guys from the 80, the 70, and 60, we are built tough. Yes, we are built tough because we were forced to be tough. We are not allowed to slack off, which is kind of like it's a contradiction because we don't know what we practicing could be harmful to us and to our kids. That I know. I try to be more aware of what's going on with my household. I try to be more aware of what's going on with my kids because I'm very, very attentive what I see and what's being developed and what happened over time. I like to take my time out to speak with my kid one on one individually to understand what they're going through their mind or how they feel or what they think about certain things. I may come off harsh, which I do. I'm a father. I gotta hold them to the ball. I gotta hold them to the standard I want them to be. But the standard I have for them is not so extreme that they cannot accomplish it. But I do that so they can discipline themselves. But at the same time, I don't want to put too much pressure on them where they feel like they never get a break. That's not the case. But when it comes to mental health issues, sometimes if we're not careful as parents, we can cause a mental scar to our kids that they can pass down from multiple generations. A lot of parents do that and they think it's no big deal. They act like you didn't die. You don't realize how much trauma they put in your life one way or the other. Now we talk about mental health medicine. That is a line I cannot touch nor speak upon because one, I'm not well educated or well insightful on what to take or what not to take, what is helpful, what not is helpful. But
So
I can
David,
really
let's
say,
hold off. Let's hold off on medication until next week.
okay.
Because next.
I'm not talking about. I'm just saying where my stand is at. I can't speak on
Okay,
that
yeah, you
because
can speak about that. That's fine. That's fine. But hey, I see how you finally update your name.
um you did that yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something what's going on. You want to call me earthquake, but here where the contradiction comes to play. I may be a little husky, but I'm in the side whereby I'm more exercise that I can do. I can lift weight. I can do push up. I can do all kind of things. But the person who I call earthquake is not only much bigger
Yes,
than me,
quite absolutely right.
but the
Yes,
guy
quite
used to
absolutely
play
right.
football. But he's also on that round kind of look kind of thing. I'm more of what people used to call me gorilla in the
Robbie,
mist, Congo. They say how the gorilla feel or look when I walk. Which I get it, I understand, and I accept it. It's like a compliment, meaning I am a scary individual. But I ain't like the artist called Earthquake who had a song to he ain't never scared. So I use that for BMU. Me, you can call me Black David because one, yes, I'm dark. Everybody say, well, you turn off the light, all you can see is my eye and my teeth. That is correct. I accept that. Reckless Way call me Bear Paw, meaning my hand, the kind of hand that if I hit you with it, you feel the stinger. So I accept that nickname. So Earthquake don't fit me. You didn't call me Black David, or you call me Bear Paw, or you call me Congo of the Mist, or you call me that one character in the Black Panther movie. You from the Gorilla Clan. I don't mind that. I can accept that. But Earthquake?
see, here's the thing.
You kidding
Here's
me?
the thing. The I can call you a lot of things, but if you ever tell me to call you Big Daddy, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Whoa. First and foremost, let me give you guys a heads up. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. You know, I'm an African. I grew up in Brooklyn. That Big Daddy dancer, I do not play that thing. That kind of like, hold up. Due to those foodie kind of guy. I ain't foodie. I ain't the diddler. So let's just end it right there and there. Either you call me Black David, yet I'm a dark ad individual, yet I can blend in the dark. That is correct. I could come behind you like a black ninja. That is correct. Or you could call me Bear Paw, but never Earthquake. I'm nowhere near that. I can run.
Ladies and
I can
gentlemen,
squat. I can
ladies and
do
gentlemen,
push up. Earthquake cannot do push up. He's on his
ladies and
belly. He has to wobble. I
ladies and
don't
gentlemen,
wobble.
I'd like to apologize for my co-host Black David for being so racist right now.
Animated, yeah.
Animated in his words. We are at the Spartan Ink Shoot Network. We're welcome from all colors, breeds, shapes, sizes. We don't judge. We don't demonstrate, but somebody does a little bit. So I'm not pointing fingers at all. I'm
I'm
not
just
pointing
calling it
fingers
as I
at all.
see it. I just
You know,
call
right?
it as I see it. Last
All right.
he changed my name.
Um.
I ain't no earthquake, so I go through movies anyway though. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. So David, seriously, I never ever asked you this question. I know we flirted with the conversation a little bit, but did you ever suffer with mental issues yourself?
Not really. I never suffer mental issue, but I do go through some stress, personal stress due to my upbringing. How would I put it?
Mhm.
I grew up in a house whereby I would blame for everything that's not my fault to begin with. But I find it totally unfair what some parents normally do. And this have been a normal it should not be considered to be normal, but it's a normal thing among the black household, whereby we have some adults who don't want to hold themselves accountable, but quick to pass the blame onto their kids so they won't have to feel the guilt of it. They pass their guilt onto the kid and make them feel if it's because of them, this happened. Perfect example. My mom and dad blame me for their divorce. What I had to do with the divorce? That's a grown folk situation.
Hey, say
I'm
that
a
again.
child.
Hang on.
Yeah. Clean that ear out. Clean that ear. I want you to understand that. My
Did you
mom,
say your parents blame you for their
yeah, my
fuck
mother
ups?
and my father had the audacity to blame me for their divorce as if I had a hand in it. Like I did something to cause them to go separate ways, which I could never comprehend. But as a child, that burden was put upon me, mentally speaking, that stressed me out throughout my upbringing because I felt like I could never do right. Any small thing is my fault. So they were blaming their divorce on me. They were blaming their activity like I did X, Y, and Z. I remember one time my mom taught me how to operate the first ID call that came in, courtesy of AT&T back in the 80s. My dad would get all type of calls, so my mom taught me how to check the ID call and see who was calling. Right? Get what my dad did. See, my dad knew I'm the geeky kind of kid. I will not do anything stupid. He went behind and delete all the number and say that I did it.
Hmm.
When he went and delete the number himself, because I saw some number I did not recognize. Because I would tell my mom. So he made sure I took the hit.
So
There was
you
a lot of
see,
shit my parents did. They
so
put a
your
blame on me
parents,
for.
your father was cheating on your mother. That means, right?
Oh, my dad was a rolling stone. Yeah, he's more like a rolling pin, not a rolling stone. Pun
You know what I
intended.
realized back in the day, and I know this from my father too. And like I know we are a lot older than each other, but we do don't. What are you? In your 40s, right? Late 40s.
I'm 46.
Okay, so you're not much older than me. I'm 38, almost 39. I'm sort of, I got a couple weeks to enjoy 38. Let's enjoy that for now. Anyway, um, this week, next week, or whatever, I realized the older generation cheated so fucking much. It was part of the culture. Agree or disagree?
Those out here in the 80s, yes, they did. Luckily, my parents was not part of that for some reason. They dodged the bullet. because I grew up in Brooklyn, whereby it was normally known in Brooklyn, it was known in the Bronx, some area in Manhattan, unless you're in Harlem or your lower Manhattan. That was a thing during the 80s. I remember when JT showed video of what was going on in the 80s. If y'all would have seen no footage, then you won't understand what was really going on out here in New York City. It was really that bad. A lot of home was destroyed due to the drug epidemic that came flooding to the black community on purpose in order to destroy the black community. Because if you were to look back before the drug epidemic, they were a riot whereby the black community was up and coming along with the Jewish community because we were more productive, we were more resourceful, we were able to do things, we were able to build. So what did they do? They removed trade from this high school because back then you cannot graduate from high school unless you pass a particular skill trade. They yanked that one out of school. They yanked a lot of things out of school. Then they start pumping drugs. Why couldn't they pump drugs into their own? Why they pump it to the black community? Really? Then you had Joe retarded sleeping on the wheel of Biden, who wrote the crime bill law. And it's funny how black people vote for the same guy that screwed you guys over, but I only support Bernie Sanders. Oh yeah, Bernie Sanders was the same guy who was fighting the White brothers who were trying to terrorize you guys. And there was a young video footage and picture of him fight along with Martin Luther King Jr., but everybody overlooked that and vote for the other guy. Why is that? I don't know. Y'all tell me something. You got short attention span or something? Or y'all stuck on stupid? Hmm? Okay. As I was saying, side journey. So it's something that I hate to hear and see because for one, besides the drug epidemic, yet they were shooting up a lot of things, but they were taking away jobs from the black community. So when you yank job away from the black communities and you store drugs in, what do you think was going to happen? A lot of young kids had to grow up on their own because either the mom was on drug or the dad was on drug or both were on drug. They had to grow up from the street, learn how to survive on their own. Well, it's not at hard like living in the motherland whereby there's no government. So if I tell you it's a common thing to see a 9-year-old kid outside who cannot afford to go to school, it's outside building, making bricks that needed for construction. A 9-year-old kid was making money. You got an 8-year-old kid selling water, selling peanuts, selling all kinds of stuff on the street because mom and dad cannot afford to pay for their school fee for a public school in Africa. But yet we have people who are so, how would I say it, entitled, so
See, here's
privileged.
my thing with this, man. Now, David,
Yeah.
you gotta speak on this for a little bit because it kind of hits home for me. Excuse me, because as I grew up and like you did, we both have a similar past from
Hmm.
growing up. Can we agree on this so far?
I agree.
So we're both immigrants.
Hmm.
Everybody's an immigrant in America, but we're legit off the boat.
Hmm.
So you lived in the, one side of the country of the world. I lived in the other side.
Hmm.
Okay. You grew up literally scraping and clawing for every fucking penny you had, correct?
Yep.
Same I did. Like going to the movies was a treat.
Uh,
Like for
I
example, I'll give you an example.
I got lucky to go to the movie in high school. Lucky. It
You know how
wasn't a
many times I
normal
went
thing.
to the movies in Greece? How
We
many times?
let me put it like this. To go to the movie in Africa, it's beyond a luxury.
Here
Sometimes
it's easy to go to the
it's
movies.
easy here, but over there, it's beyond a luxury. You know how funny you see those Chinese movies when you see people cannot afford to go to the Tokyo movie, they can peep through the hole in the wall to actually see a footage.
Once.
Yeah, we can relate to the Chinese folk, but we had that same dilemma when it's in Africa back in the 80s and 90s. It was that type of thing. Sometimes you had to creep or climb if you can get a peep.
So
If you
where
not
I'm
get in
going with this,
trouble.
where I'm going with this topic right now with the movie thing, all right,
Hmm.
is it took us I don't know how many years to get into a movie by ourselves. Oh my god, we got finally went to the movies. Oh my god. In 4 years I lived in Greece, I went to movies twice. When I first got there and
Hmm.
before I left.
That's how many times I went to the movie theater in Africa.
Yeah, I believe it.
Remember, I tell you it's a luxury, right? Not everybody could afford to get because I don't know. There's so much people here who are so privileged.
Oh
Claim they
God,
have
yes.
it hard. They claim that it's hard. Oh, life here is hard. Shit, you don't know what hard look like if it hits you in the face.
You know
I
how
just
many
tell this.
kids I know in Greece when I was younger? They were younger than me and they're already working, selling scratch
Uh,
off in the middle of the street, selling bottled water just to make a penny.
let me put it like this: due to the ruling, let me explain to you guys something. Throughout the '80s to the late '90s, let's say around 1997, 1998, my country was ruled by an iron fist by military dictators for a very long time. The last dictator died after I left. He couldn't come to the US. He couldn't come to the UK for medical care. He had a bounty on his head. He ended up dying, and that was the end of the military rule. You don't know what it's like to live in a country whereby you have a military dictator and they run their country like an iron fist. You have no idea how that actually feels. But the fact that you have the luxury, you have the privilege, you can curse the president, you can say the president, F you, yeah. Come to some African country that have military dictator and you say F you and see what happens. And see if you have that type of freedom to actually run your mouth without some severe repercussion, whereby your parent can snitch on you to save their ass. Real talk. A rumor went out that, oh, you talk negative about the president of the country at that time. Y'all don't know shit what it's like to be through hard life, whereby because of the how they abuse the resource of the country, you barely had 24/7 electricity. So imagine you have to fetch water for every single thing you need to do in your household, and you do multiple rounds to the point whereby you are a young kid and you already developing muscle, climbing, doing multiple rounds, lifting 20 liter, 25 liter, 40 liter, 50 liter kegs up the flight of stairs. I live on the 10th floor. So imagine how many rounds I gotta do carrying 2 50 liters up the staircase 10, 15 times. You talk about you got it hard, man, nigga, please. Y'all lazy as fuck, and I'm saying it. 'Cause I've done shit that I thought I would never do in the US, but I do it over there, living out there. I was like, God damn, I got a rude awakening. People don't have it easy over there outside. When they come here, they get the ball. They don't care what kind of job they get. They hustle. But y'all got it so simple, so easy that yet I'm not trying to come here and shit on nobody. I understand what you guys go through over here. But the PTSD that people have to go through in the motherland, that people have to suck it up there with no mental health for nobody, they have to deal with it and just do what they got to do. I saw men who went through so much in Africa come here, worked themselves to the ground to the point they got broken, meaning they passed the limit of how far they can go, just trying to be successful, and they lost their mind. And they tell you the story what they had to go to, why they push themselves so hard, working their ass off here, because they don't want to go back and live that same life again. Being a hardworking person, it's become a normal thing from youth. Some people never stop grinding. They can't turn it off.
Right here. I can't stop. I can't turn it off. I've been working since I was 12 years old. You're the same way. I know that for a fact, David.
I haven't taken
You-
no, I haven't taken vacation in 26 years. How about that?
That's sad.
I don't know what a vacation feel or look like.
Yeah, I believe it. Because every time I go on vacation, it's like my mind doesn't stop. It's keep going and going and going.
If you put me on vacation for 2 months, I will lose my mind. I'll be real with you. I gotta do something. I had to do something. I don't feel comfortable just chilling without being productive. How about that? I'm a workaholic, and sadly, I'm proud of it. To the point whereby I don't see the point on having a vacation unless it's actually needed. Oh, maybe I'll take a vacation if I'm moving. Maybe I'll take a vacation because I got some other partner to take care of her, but I can't do it while I'm working. So I take those 2 to 3 days off to take care of this particular issue. Once I'm done, I get back to working. That's how I look at vacation. As an excuse to take care of something far more important that will take most of my time so it don't interrupt my work schedule. To chill, I don't know. My idea of chilling is taking a long nap. Let my body rest. Let me catch up with my Z's.
That's
That's my
where
idea.
I
That's
always
my
fall
idea of
short too.
vacation. So when it comes to mental health, you don't realize what we have to do to ourselves to program ourselves how we supposed to. I be real. I was telling somebody this though. I'd rather have a huge acre of a couple of acres of land in Africa and just be a damn farmer and just cut this job to. I would do that work on a farm. At least I know I could be working 7 days a week nonstop and be productive. I would do that than deal here and deal with some bullshit ass people who just want to antagonize you, waste your time. They get on you because they don't like the fact they don't like how productive you really are. They want to stress you out because they hate it on you because they're not you. If I be on a farm, I don't have to worry about nobody hating on me because you know why? Ain't nobody there to hate on me. I'm working on the freaking farm. I'm growing crop. I'm being productive. People buy my crop. I beat the whole thing round and round. I get a workout on. I look like a damn monster, ripped. Yeah. So in case of you see me, you run. So I won't catch you. Real talk. I like to get my hand dirty. I don't like lazy ass people. I'm built like that. They want to call me, like, please. You throw me in the farm, I will love it. Let me get my hand dirty. Let me get busy with it. Shred the weight. Bring out the muscle back. Look like a damn monster doing it. I don't mind working with my hand. That's just me. But mentally speaking, sometimes good for the body to rest. But how can I? If I'm not working, I lose my mind.
So
I
you've been
get
out of work
irritated,
for a while now, right?
and it's depressing. Trying to every day, every morning, I'm on multiple job board trying to apply for a job, look for a job. Do it. I don't like being out of work, and even
That's
though
what I was
I'm
gonna say. It's
qualified to
probably
get a lot
driving
of
you
jobs,
crazy now, right?
even though I'm qualified for a lot of jobs to get, I gotta deal with recruiters who are. I'm noticing right now they're doing the call data. They trying to copy your information and give it to somebody else to implement what you do, but they can't do it. But they're trying to quote unquote take my positions. I got so much experience. If I was doing an interview, I'm geeking out. I'm trying to knock that interview out the ballpark so I can land these jobs. I gotta avoid being lowball. A job that put up pay me around 30, 40 hours, they're trying to pay me 22. Because I need a job, I have to take it. Just so my bill can be paid. The job market is screwed up. And all these politicians that you guys are not paying attention to, they're effing you over. The fact that I'm in a country that people vote based on their feeling allow me to know I'm living in the most dumbest country on the planet. No one can use their common sense and look at policy that benefit them, but oh, because he make me feel good. Nigga, please put on a diaper. No, I'm dead. I've been did this way for 20 freaking years plus. It's like, why would you vote for this guy? But he make you. I'm like,
A
this
lot of
time.
people don't vote because they know what the fuck they're talking about. Most people vote because they're part of that party and they have to vote for that person. And I want to drop it from there because I'm not. This channel is not about politics. I'll give you a straight
No,
up
no,
answer.
I'm just, this part of the mental health thing. This, it kind of like, I'm not trying to talk about, I'm just saying the shit that we had to go through. Sometimes because of your lack of mental fortitude, You make dumb decisions that put me in a position that I had to deal with the bullshit that you put us in. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about reality. If you had a job and you give it a quality what to put, get that shit done. If you have issue, leave it at the door. But to come here to go to work, do what you got to do. You get paid so you can fix your problem at home. Some people come to work like immature kids just to irritate other people. We got people who got time to mess around. They will do their job and other people's job because they put a kind of their job, they dump it on you because you've been the responsible. So you're the responsible guy. Your workload multiplied by 2, by 4, who knows what. The reason why you have some men who come on drained out because you know why? They got dumped with a dirty workload. They cannot help it. They got to do it. Need to get done. And I noticed that a lot. It's kind of like, what can you do? Why they got to be this way?
Honestly,
That's
people
what my
are assholes.
thing.
People are lazy assholes. Simple as that. And don't get me started with those racists or boss who are racist.
Oh, please don't bring that. Don't bring that one out. That's another
And
episode
that
by
is
itself.
it
That's another
fucks your
episode of
mental
it.
game completely. How do
Oh,
you keep your head on straight every day, Monday through Friday, or whatever your schedule is, AM, PM, whatever, with a smile on your fucking face when your boss is a fucking piece of shit asshole who's a fucking racist?
what if the boss is a sexist? I see that without doing security. There's a particular supervisor. All he wants is all the good-looking women to be next to him so he can entertain his eye, and he will be sexually harassing them day in, day out, trying to how you want to blackmail them or set them up. Talk about if you don't do this for me, you're not gonna get a promotion.
And that's bullshit.
What the fuck?
And that's bullshit. You know that.
And you know why? You know why the Diddler got locked up? He was doing way more than that. And they got people out here don't know shit about this dude. If you're not from New York, you don't know what the fuck was going on in New York City, what they got been doing for years, for decades.
Mhm.
Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. This guy have a reputation of what he been doing. What have been out there for so long. There's some people don't care they get blacklisted because they know what the fuck you were doing. Now all this shit is coming out. Everybody, oh my God, y'all no different from R. Kelly fans. How in the world that people in Chicago knew what this guy was all about and act like he's freaking? I'm like, man, God's up. Y'all no different from the guy from Alabama who got a white judge who have done that for decades, hanging out in high schools when he was an attorney, picking up young girls, and the cop turned a blind eye. Yeah, I'm snitching.
You know, it's also fucked up. I don't blame them, but I do see where the problem here comes in. COs, correction officers, are fucking inmates. Yeah. If you want to call it mental issues, go to jail for a week. You see how fucked up the guys are. Some of them are like not all of them are hardcore criminals. Some of them are in there for stupid reasons, like fucking child support, for example, or I forgot to pay my fine, or I didn't have the funds. Whatever the case is, if you're in for a small shit and you're in a major population with somebody who's a gang member or whatever his case is, think about your mental health. How is that going to go downhill fast? I actually worked for jail for 2 or 3 months. I can't remember how much it was,
Mhm.
but I didn't last there long because my mental game went downhill fast. You understand?
I did NYPD, 911 call center, the one in the Bronx, the totally high tech area, but technically it wasn't so high tech like it claimed to be because there were a lot of flaws in the setup.
Hmm.
because it make no goddamn sense. But I got depressed watching the condition how the 911 call takers were losing their mental and physical health.
Yep.
Somebody was telling me that you could come in healthy, able to walk with 2 feet, never smoke in your life. They're saying less than 3 to 4 months, you start smoking, you start drinking, your health deteriorate, and you start walking with a walking stick. I was like, what? I thought that was a lie. Okay, I'm the tech guy that helping fix the issue. I pay attention for a whole entire year, and I watch people that deteriorate before my eyes. Had a young sister who I always, she was a leader of a particular team. I go around just make people laugh so they can liven up their spirit so this job will not get to them. To find out on that one week that I would leave on my I was let go from my duty for that week. Like, I asked someone to cover for me for the next shift.
Hmm.
That was my last weekend on seeing that particular female. I came back the next week and they told me, "Oh, you know that night that you see her off and everything? That next day she walked out of the building and she collapsed and she passed away." Right? I was like,
Holy
"What?"
shit.
And that lady always come to me, call me on purpose because she want me to fix something, but she want me to crack some joke and make everybody laugh and make liven up the book. I always do that, but she was a young
Not
woman.
like she fancied
She
you.
28. She 28. Young woman, 28.
Mm. That's too young for you.
No, no, you don't understand it. 28 to drop dead, collapse. They said she had a heart, like the stress of that job got to her without surprise. Just to hear that I almost had PTSD just from hearing. I was like, wait, 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 wait. So that job is that stressful? The 911 call center is one type of job. People who never smoke, never drink, start smoking, start drinking.
Oh, I've
That is a
been
that job is a mental health attack to anybody if you're not mentally strong.
I've been in a job like that, and they're like, what the fuck, man? Like, the only thing you want to do is smoke and have a fucking drink and get laid afterwards.
There are people who never smoke, who never drink in their entire life. That job created that habit right there and there.
I believe it. I believe it, 100%.
People are buying all type of stuff just to because they're sitting out for so long. They go to the hassle of the going back and forth trying to calm the people down. They get and it get to the point where they have to go outside and walk. They walk it out. Some have to detox. I'm like, damn.
Now imagine if you worked in a jail, how that feel?
If you see me in the jail gym working out like a monster, don't come near me. If you see
But
me,
yeah,
I'll be
yeah.
like this. I'll be like this, lifting some heavy weight. You come doing an ask me question. I'm looking at you like trying to give you that eye like, why are you bugging me right now? I'm not in the mood. I was that person in the gym. I was that person before. I take the gym like my sanctuary. The gym is my place of mental therapy. Shout out to Trey Taylor because me and him are the same way. If I get access to a particular, I could go there 7 days a week without nonstop, without nobody bugging me. That is the best place for me to release whatever built up, pent up, suppressed rage. Let it out. That's how I survived my 20s. I threw myself in the gym every single day, every chance I get. Because what I was going through mentally speaking, I didn't have the time to go to anybody. I said, let me just throw myself in the gym, go in between 2 to 6 hours a day, clanging and banging. That's how it was.
And people don't realize the gym is a mental reset.
What?
You don't think
What?
so?
What? Not, I don't think every community should have a gym for people who have a hard time dealing with life. You go in there, if you go on the treadmill, do 30 minutes, do an hour. If you have to live, let it out. Let everything out. drain it out. I remember I was in Job Corps. You're not gonna believe it. This back in 2000, I was in Job Corps. One of the RAs or one of the staff saw that I was so consistent that I made that gym like it's my own sanctuary. So I was responsible for the gym. I told people, if you're not here to work out, get the F out. I was bouncing people out in Job Corps. This not a gym where the girl did it too. They'll come in all dressed up, want to sit down and say, "Oh, I want to see the guy bounce their chests." I'll say, "Do me a favor. Why don't you bounce your ass out of here?"
Hmm.
Thank you. I was bouncing ladies out of the gym. Period. If you're not here to work out, this is not no Chippendale Center. Go somewhere else with that bullshit. When I'm here, you doing what it means. That time of the day. I ain't let nobody come to the gym when I'm in there working out. Treat the play like some kind of Chippendale for you to watch or no, get the F out. The staff doesn't even stop me from doing that. They allow me to run it like I did with my own. Because that was my sanctuary. Every day I was in Job Corps, I do at least 2 to 6 hours a day, every single day. Everybody thought I was living in the gym because that's all I do. Lift weight and keep it pushing. I had so much frustration, I had so much anger built up. So when I go to the gym, I let it all out into the weight. I was going in like a monster. I remember I was doing incline bench press 315, decline 395. I was doing leg press 960 pounds. I was doing all type of weight class. I was pushing beyond my limit. That's how much anger and rage I had deep inside of me. I used my anger, I used my rage as fuel for working out. But in a way, it not only helped me with a mental reset, it make your head. When you when you release all that pent up energy, your head becomes lighter. You don't stress out much. You feel like you just want to sleep and relax. That's what it does. The gym good for women. Yo, there's some girls that I was training them to the point where they were training other females. I was doing that at one point. I showed them the basics, what they need to do, make sure they don't hurt themselves. Once they got the basics down, they were on their own. I even had girls in that gym who were lifting more than guys,
Oh,
who
I
come
believe
here to
that.
play around,
I believe that 100%.
who were playing. There were guys who were playing around. They're like, I'm like, dude, don't let me get a girl to come out and embarrass you. Say, ain't no girl can lift more than this. Okay, I'll call one of them. Give me 10 here. She said 10? But then I said, don't worry, did do 10. I'll put my weight. Okay. She was doing 10. Boom, 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 boom. Can I put my weight? I said, boom, I put my weight. The guy was like, yeah, do what we do here. We don't F around here. This is not a game. And that was in Job Corps in Morganville, Kentucky. Out here in Brooklyn, I had a dude come in showing up in front of this girl on a machine that you working for your traps. He was getting two hand. He was doing 70 pounds, showing up in front of the girl. What I hate when guys do that. The gym not there for showing it. You get to work out. I literally embarrassed this dude on purpose. He was on 70 pounds. I looked at it. When it's my turn, I sat down, adjusted my team, everything, put it on 90. Got my arm ready. They were watching me. I put one hand behind my back and start pulling. I did 10 on one arm. I'm watching him. His girlfriend watching me too. I twitched the arm. I did another 10. I was mad, and I did it even more. And did the same thing to the next arm. That's how bad it was. Yo, I got a call. I'll get back with you guys. Hold on.
Till he gets back. With his stories, I wish we realize mental health is not only just talking about it or acting at it. It could be on multiple things. So make sure we have that in check. So, like you saw, he's focused in the gym, keep his mind busy, so he doesn't have to think about stuff. Sometimes that's what you need. Don't think about it. Just Get out of the house for a little bit. Go for a walk with your dog. Go walk with your cat or kangaroo or whatever you have as animal. The snake, alligator, an earthquake, whatever you want to walk with. It doesn't matter. Get out. Make yourself active. That really helps your health, mental health, more than anything. And you can learn other things. Like, hey, you go meet Pete. I don't know anything about losing weight or fitness. They will teach you. The best people who teach you there is the guys who work out. The old school guys who are hardcore people. Go ahead, David.
And that's the thing. I think one thing I like about New York City, Brooklyn, where I grew up at, you go to the park, you'll find people who are OGs, old
Oh
school,
God, yeah.
all
Muscle,
about
muscle,
health.
muscle gym is it or beach gym in New California?
That's the Venice Beach, Venice Beach, Muscle Beach.
Muscle beach. That's another one.
That's another place. If I was living in California, if I was near that area, I would have been there religiously, 7 days a week, nonstop. But I won't be so huge and swole like all those guys, but I will be condensed like a monster. I'll be for real, for real. So that's the thing. And the thing is, I don't think people understand. Exercise, fitness it's not just a regular lifestyle. It's something to keep you grounded. It keep you focused. It's very critical for your mental health. Real talk. So all this idea of big and beautiful, no, I'm saying big and beautiful more like big and sick. Let's be real, medically speaking. When you have so much weight on your body, you actually you're killing yourself slowly. The body never designed for you to get so huge and out of place. It never meant to be that way. Lately, I stopped using the resistance band because I got so used to it, and I said, let me start doing push up. Let me go to the OG basic. Start doing push up. Start doing sit up. Do stuff with your natural body. Now, the thing about a lot of guys on here, they the trick I will give you guys out. Before you do push up, you got a scale. Put the scale on the floor. Get in the push up position and see how much weight you're pushing when you're doing push up, and you will realize the amount of weight you're pushing. I taught
Hmm.
my son the same trick. He got lightweight to push because he's not that heavy. I got a lot of weight to push. But when I start doing a lot more push up more often, I can feel the impact of my chest. So it's like almost I'm doing bench presses.
I didn't know that.
Knew knew that back in the 90s. One of my coaches would tell me like the amount of weight, he said, everybody who do push up are not the same because somebody could be pushing only 95 pounds, but you pushing almost 150 pounds because of what weight you have in your body.
Mm-hmm.
That is legit. But people don't know the more weight you have when you come to do push up, the more of a challenge it is for you. So if you can conquer your body weight and do the pump weight and you master it, you lose weight, but you get a nice definition. It comes with something. It comes with perks. And the reason why Nathan did it was shading because I had natural chest I can flex because I was doing push up for years.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't can't do that because they would have hate on me. So it's what it is. So best believe that's also good. There's so much exercise and fitness you put yourself through that's good for your mental health. Squat is good, push up is good, sit up is good. Walk around your community, walk around your neighborhood, do a couple of laps around your building. Do that. Sometimes you can walk and talk to yourself. Figure out whatever situation you're going through and try to find a solution. If you want to vent, then vent. Let it out. If you live in there, the area like in California, you can climb down here, go to somewhere space through there and just let out whatever is bothering it. Let's get rid of it. There's many ways that can help yourself on a mental if you cannot afford a therapist. But get that body moving, get that body active. You have to. Because now I'm not working. I can afford the therapy if I want to go back on it. No. What I gotta do? Do that push up. My goal in less than a year is to do 100 push-ups without stopping.
So where are you at now?
Now I could do 20 straight easy, but that's not enough. I want to get back where I can be able to do 40, 50 straight. So before the year's end, I want to be able to do 100 push-ups straight without stopping. I'm from a mixed martial art background, so if I were to meet my sensei, if he come from the heavens, tell me doing giving 200 push-ups, I'm dead meat.
See, that's one
Me,
thing I would be glad. I'm glad about my martial art experience that taught me is how I became a better person with my mental health. Back then, I didn't know that. That's the funny part. Back then, I didn't know how to. I had mental issues. People tell me, "Oh, you need to see a therapist." I'm like, "Fuck you! I don't need to see no therapist. I was too
but
manly for that."
but here the joke goes. Here the joke. I'm sure you realize this. We know different from the people from the military.
Hmm?
We know different because in a
Okay.
way they have to study our art of fighting to defend themselves when they're out in the field. If you think about it, let's put that in perspective though. Today's military practice some kind of mixed martial art in some kind of way that designed only for hand-to-hand combat in case of situations like that. We were taught that regardless, all range. So even though we're not in the military, we're no different from them. I was trying to join the military so I could have an extra edge. To be honest with you, though, remember that Bloodsport movie when Jean-Claude Van Damme was a military guy who was trying to do in a martial art company, and his superior did not want him to do that because he their weapon, but he didn't realize that he way more than the weapon than what they expect him to be. And at the end of the movie, they say, "Thank God you're on our side." Like, God damn, that was me. That was me. Imagine me with my martial art background join the military, and I'm
Gotta
trying to go
help
to the
him.
next level.
That's what I was trying to do because my fucking knee couldn't get. After I hurt my knee in martial arts, they said it couldn't take the risk. But now, 2024, do you know how many waivers there are in the military?
I'm sure there's a lot of them. I don't really care too much now today because today's military is watered down. I like the
Let's
old
put it
school
this way,
military.
bro. So you remember CQ, my best friend, right?
Hmm.
So his brother-in-law went to the service. He was the youngest of the brother, right? He went in the Air Force. So when you get your first phone call when you get there, right? So and then, like you have a little card they give you. Stick on the wall. It says, "Hi, my name's so and so, right? I arrive okay. I am safe. Thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye." Maybe not to the T, but something in those lines, right? Now they're like, "Yeah, I just got here. I'm cool. I'm chilling. It's not as bad." I'm like, "The fuck is this shit?" And the other part is they're also very nervous to get reported because you might say, "Give me 20 push-ups," and the next minute they file a complaint against you. Back in the day, you didn't file a complaint against your commanding officer. You go back there outside and take care of that. You take care of business. I'm not saying you're gonna go duke it now, but you guys can change some words.
Like I said, I prefer the old school military. I know it may seem kind of hard because I like that kind of physical challenge. Push me to the next level.
Oh, it's fun.
That just that was me in my 20s. Dude, I want to be pushed so far to the point whereby they couldn't push me no more. There's nothing can do for me. And they're like, "You
Yep.
surpassed her. What more do you want?" Shoot, I could have been not doing in the military who doing almost 200 push-ups every morning, every evening, every afternoon. Look like a damn freak of nature.
I believe it. I believe it
I would
100%.
have loved it. I could have an iron ass grip. If I would have grip you on your forehead, I could have squeezed your skull. Just just for the joy of it. That was me. I wanted to join the military so I can advance my skill set in combat to another level and do it so much to the point whereby even the guy who trained everybody else said I'm on my own because there's nothing to train me for. Shoot, I could have been kicking palm trees while in the military. Y'all
Oh,
don't
I
get
believe
it.
it. I believe it.
That's why I say I'm not earthquake. My mentality is completely different. I had that. I ain't got time to be weak mentality.
You know what? I pause and jump on a minute. I want to show you a video that I found very interesting. I know we're kind of off topic. I'm okay with it.
It's
Yeah,
all right,
it's my channel. I can do whatever I want, kind of thing,
but
right?
it's part of mental health because it help you keep you grounded.
Yeah, give me a second.
Do you
Okay.
think the United States
Let me share this. It's actually very fascinating. I don't know how true this is, but I found it fascinating.
has super soldiers?
It's not a question of if the United States has super soldiers. It's more a matter of who has them. The country as a whole? No, that's a broad and misleading assumption. But government contractors? Absolutely. Behind closed doors, where the light of accountability rarely shines, there are black budget programs that make Hollywood sci-fi look like child's play. These programs are not just hidden. They're buried deep beneath layers of bureaucracy and secrecy, far removed from the public eye. These operations have access to technology that is centuries ahead of anything known to the public, and their first priority is always its weaponization. This tech isn't just advanced, it's the stuff of legends, reverse engineered from extraterrestrial artifacts recovered in shadowy corners of the world. Imagine machines that could bend reality, cloaking devices that render entire battalions invisible, or biological enhancements that make a soldier faster, stronger, and nearly impossible to kill. There are soldiers, some biological, others not, who are standing by, waiting to be activated when the time comes. They're the hidden blade in the hand of those who control these clandestine programs, waiting for an outside or even inside threat to justify their use.
Do you think the United States
And before you give your thoughts on the video, the reason I thought I put that is what kind of mental state are you in? You put yourself, your body, through some kind of experiment that makes it better. A super soldier like Steve Rogers in real life.
You
Go ahead.
You gotta be beyond desperate to do that. To be honest with you, you gotta be beyond desperate because here's
Mhm.
the thing. That theory had been the theory since the 80s. I have been a talk in the 80s. I had been talking in the 90s. So it's not new. That's number one. Number two,
I don't remember in the 80s because I'm too young for that. 90s, again, I'm too young. Don't even remember 2000s. I remember they were talking about exoskeleton suits they were developing, like they had in Advanced Warfare in Call of Duty.
I know, but here's the problem. When it comes to technology, we assume that we are the best of the best in the world. Technically, we are not so much of the best because if we look deeper at the tech, all our technology is not all American made, to be honest, though. The stuff we want to get ourselves, we need to understand the origin of everything that we use. All our phones, all our computer, all electronics, what are the more common thing? Where are they made? It's not made in China, it's not made in Japan, it's not made in Taiwan, or it's not made in India, aka the hard drive. It's not made in the US. You talk about exoskeleton. Funny. The Japanese and the Chinese have always been a beat up to that one a long time ago. To point they made it lightweight, they use it for medical purpose. But doesn't mean they're not using it for military purpose. They already thought about it already. The first actual keyword mobile suit. A bunch of college students who got that thing done more than a decade ago.
You're talking about Gundam now.
Yes. The original first one was the Shibata. It was done. It was a test drive. They figured out how to bring what they see on anime to reality, and they worked on it. It had an operating system. Like, come on, let's be real. We're not stupid. We're not the first in anything in the world, globally speaking. We are the first with having the biggest military, which is totally correct. But when it comes to tax, we're not ahead of anybody. Let's be frank. If we really no, this is why I try to tell people you let this think in your head. If we the best or the best in anything, then we should have a better educational system. Not a dumbed down educated. We have an education that challenge everybody to be better. We don't have that here. Those type of education that challenge them to be better than what they are outside this country. When you get a chance, why don't you Google and see where are our ranking on education in a global stage?
Oh, we're the lowest.
You'd be surprised. If we're the lowest, then how are we the greatest? Like, come on, make it make sense to me.
It does make sense. I know, dude. I'm not disagreeing with you. Like military wise, we're good, but we're not.
Oh,
We are
we,
the best military, but with that technology.
we're the best because we have so much money pumped into it. We don't have the best education because we like to strip the money out of it. Yes, the university is a different story, but those who are able to come over here and use the American university, use it as a stepping stone to go back to the more advanced one. The best cars are not made in the US. They're made in Germany.
I'm going to disagree with that.
Like, come on, make it make sense, guy.
I'm going to respectfully disagree about the German car part.
I know you respect I know, I understand, but when it comes to a certain brand that stand out, if not Mercedes Benz, it's Audi. It's not Audi. There's other German brand. I forgot them off the head. I can't remember. But the Europe compete among themselves of who has the best car. They're always going back and forth with the engineering design, and they push the envelope. Let's be realistically real about here. We in a nation like that like to outsource their job so much. It's not even funny. We're not even a producing country. We're a consuming country. We consume everything.
Yeah. So here's my thing with the car thing, really fast. I have worked on German cars when I was a mechanic. When I high school, believe it or not, I was a mechanic. The one thing I hated working on most was German cars. Could stand working on them. Yeah, they're strong cars, but when they break, they break. It's like a domino effect. Like if let's say I don't know, you blew an oil line. Then from an oil line, you blew something else. From that, it's like
It's like a human body.
worse.
Get it?
Worse. I've always hated German cars. There's some nice ones like Beamers and Mercedes. I'm not denying there's some nice cars out there, but when they break, fuck me. I will keep my American car any day. Thank you very much. Or my Hyundais.
I don't blame you.
My Hyundai can last forever almost.
I prefer
If
me
you
an
new ones,
Audi or a Volkswagen.
you can keep that.
I like Audi for some reason because I know that the particular line they work on, you gotta be of a certain age to be
Okay,
part of
so
that
I
team.
had a buddy of mine who I don't say buddy, we used to be buddies, but whatever, let's say buddies for argument's sake, right? He only drives Volkswagens.
Hmm.
So every time he bought a new one, he always the same problem over and over and over. First, it was like one thing, then the next thing. He buys a new one, then the same problem with that one with the old one. It was always some kind of problem with them. Definitely electronics. They're horrible.
Now,
You there? You're breaking
a
up.
little glitch in it, but I understand. I know. I hope I'm not breaking up because I understand what you meant about the electronic part. Because I always have to ask I talk the question. All these foreign cars were they designed for American road or they were designed for European roads? That's on all the
That I
after.
was European roads.
You
That's
know
where
what?
they originally from.
You know what? You know what I said that because when they made their car, I know they were thinking about American. They think about how the road they have over there different from the road here. American roads are designed to destroy any car.
New York roads will definitely do that.
Definitely.
Definitely coming from the bridge from the JFK or Harlem Tunnel. That road it's like a roller coaster, like you're driving like I think I can like what the fuck. Like every time I go through a bridge, I'll go. After all these fucking years, they still haven't fucking fixed this fucking road.
That's why I always suggest to people, if you want to have a long-lasting vehicle, you need to get a solid, rugged SUV that can take any type of shock and everything. Because you get what I'm coming from with this part. Because for one, the type of shock that we put on the type of off-road SUV is not the same shock you put in a car. Off-road SUV are designed to go off-road and deal with the types of crazy bump, right? Those one can deal with the retarded New York City, New York, New Jersey road, Connecticut roads. All these classic car, luxury car, they're meant for European road. They're not meant for American road. 'Cause American road is more like, okay, which car will come to the shop first? This, let my friend come.
So there are two vehicles I will recommend it that I never owned, by the way. But I think they're really cool and they're rugged. The old school Humvee. And yes, you can buy one now, believe it or not. But there is a used retired military. But here's my issue with that right now. As a person who loves the military and has a kind heart, I believe, right? It goes to my head like, who died in this? So I can buy that. The other one is I cannot fucking afford it if I wanted to. Me and you put together can afford it if we wanted to. The Mercedes 6x6. You ever seen that, fuckers?
Oh, we with 6 wheels at the back?
Hang on, let me run your.
No one are customizing in Florida. They're the guy who customized them. The guy who customized those type of trucks, because it's not just Mercedes brand. He take almost any other brand and does a 6x6 behind their back. It has 6 wheels in the back. I was like,
it's for 6 wheels. Yeah, you're right. They're actually the overseas militaries. That's what they're getting now. That's what they're going with now.
they're rugged. I understand. That's why I'm saying you need a rugged SUV. There you go. Those ones.
Yeah. The overseas military, like Indian, Greece, African, whatever, they're all going to this now. America's the only one who has a Humvee, and they're replacing that too now.
No, I understand
Humvee's
that there's a mechanic in Florida who customizing any truck to be that way. He had to shop for that. So either you have a Mercedes Benz, you have a Jeep, whatever, you bring it to his shop.
My dude, imagine how much money you're dropping on that shit. Think about how much money you're gonna drop to convert it.
If I were to get a truck like that, I'm shipping that thing back to Africa. We'll talk. But I make sure I have it custom made to my taste, whereby the armor plating is super thick. I don't care if it has.
Do they even sell this in America yet?
They sell it in America. They do.
No, I haven't seen one. That's why I'm asking.
No, they don't drive it up here. It's more like down the south.
Because I haven't seen one, to be honest with you, ever.
You know why these NYPD go pick on your ass when you have a 6-wheel vehicle up here? Like, sir, that's not allowed in the city. No, duh. Hold up.
What is going on? How are you tonight? And
So
welcome
trust
to
me,
the
I know
channel.
that.
Huh?
Trust me, those type of vehicles are the nicest vehicle to have. So you don't have to worry about it breaking down, because it's not gonna break down with these shitty ass roads we live in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, I agree with you 100%.
And I hate to say that, when your car breaks down too much, it adds to your mental health too.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, I know how many times my old car broke down. Even better one. A year ago, remember my car accident? I was literally driving home, minding my own little business. It's more than a year now. On a major highway, Main Street. The last place that I think I'm going to hit a fucking goddamn deer, the opposite traffic hits a deer and throws it onto my car. I didn't catch it. I go, "Bloop." I'm like, the fuck? The hell? Yeah, and that's how.
Oh, He got a Chevy.
Oh, I know who this is already.
What kind of Chevy that is? I like to know.
She has a pretty new Chevy, actually. It's not bad looking. You know,
No,
I
it
worked for Chevy back in the day. They're, you know, I must not want to give them shit, and I don't like Chevys. They're okay. They're never gonna meet an old American Ford F-150.
And then about a Chevy, if you good at customizing your Chevy and you always at the auto zone sort of thing, you're like, you know what? Let me upgrade my shockers of it. I don't feel like using these stock shockers of it. Let me tweak it here. The people in the South who got trucks, they never stick with a stock brand. They go into the auto zone, they
All right,
upgrade the
dude,
shock.
hang on a second. I gotta get him in here. Mr. President, thank you for showing your presence tonight, as always.
It's good, gentlemen.
People are
Mr.
here in your
President,
presence.
I have an issue. I cannot join the boy club because no matter what I do, it keep growing.
Hey, you gotta do it every day, man. Every day, twice a day. Sometimes.
You know
My
what?
hair
I'm
grows a lot.
going the opposite route than you guys. You guys talking about shaving your heads. You know, Paul already gave up that battle. You're thinking about it. I'm going the other. I'm growing my hair back out.
Is that how I think about it? Think about it. I got no bald spot.
Yeah, it's good genetics.
The only person who's growing bald spot is my younger brother.
Dude, see my hair? You see any bald spots? I see a lot of gray hairs. But last time when I donated was 16 inches. So I think the goal this time will be 20. Hey Paul, I can give you half my donation.
No thanks. You can raise the money, give it to a good cause. I'm good with that.
It's good for lots of love. I usually
I'm
donate.
sorry. If you give it the better in your hair, they're
That'd be
not
funny
gonna
as hell.
they're not gonna stop getting on him. They will get all kinds of funny jokes. No, don't do that.
Dude, you know when my hair's back in, you know they're gonna start calling me again, right? On the BMU channel, right?
Oh God.
Moses.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. This episode is definitely dedicated to your mother, and I told you that last time. So I want to take you to because I know you dealt with it a lot more than me and David did. So I want to give you the floor for a minute. You got whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
In what context specifically?
Mental health. Topic is your head on right.
Well, some of that, in the case of my mom or other people who go through it, a lot of it is beyond your control. That's the one thing that, you know, it took some time to, even as an adult, to wrap your head around that, because again, you're still dealing with sometimes the anger or the bitterness from how you were treated when you were younger. But even once you come into a cognitive recognition that this wasn't her fault, you know, it still hurts. You know, the beating still hurt. You know, what was said to you still hurts. The abuse still hurts. So you still have to deal with that to a large extent. And you know, for myself and many of my family members, we didn't come to terms with it until we were well into our adulthood. And some I don't think ever dealt with it properly. It's just that sometimes this distance away from a situation, you can make yourself feel like, okay, well, I'm better off because I'm not near it. But when you're dealing with it up close, yeah, it could be a very, very frustrating thing. And in some instances, a dangerous thing. My daughter, again, she works in a mental psych ward unit. You know, she's still, you know, applying to medical school. And last night there was a situation with a person who was much bigger than me, where they had to do multiple, you know, they need multiple people to try to subdue this person and inject them with, you know, whatever psych drugs that are, you know, that are being used, you know, to sedate people. So again, I think it's still pretty new in terms of, you know, trying to figure out what's really going on up there. So again, they have medications that try to manage symptoms. You try to keep the person from striking out and being a danger to themselves or to other people. But at the same time, it's just a lot of work in terms of trying to help these people get to a state of function where they can still be productive in society and have a sense of purpose in themselves. So again, a lot of stuff is still sort of unknown. We don't know what causes a lot of these things. How much of this is environmental? How much of it is stress? How can a person who, for the most part, had things together then suddenly lose it in later life? They still don't know a lot of these things. And there's one thing I was telling my daughter before she went to work was that, hopefully I pray one day that, they have some breakthroughs. And I also told her to start looking into, what's the current science right now? What are there some new types of drugs and prescriptions that are on the table in test, in trials that can give people, more relief or help them to get, to a function. So it's multi-pronged. I mean, again, the stresses that most people go through, it's a totally different category when you are dealing with somebody who's literally lost their sense of reality, and they operate in a world of psychosis, paranoia. It's like you're in a world where everything's sort of upside down. It's like Bizarro, like from Superman. It's like Bizarro Land, Bizarro world. A lot of it's like that because you're trying to use reason and common sense and things, and people have rationalize their situation. So it's very difficult to have a conversation. It's hard to communicate with people that are like that. But we know that certainly, again, some of these external stressors can certainly drive people to that. So for a lot of this, in terms of how people, if you're coming from a bad situation or traumatic, dealing with some trauma or whatever, how do you overcome that? I don't know if there's necessarily a right formula in terms of helping people to overcome that. And let's be honest. I mean, we live in a much more civilized world today than hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. So usually, if you had people like that acting around, they'd be dealt with somehow, or cut off somehow, or some other harsh, to kind of separate the populations. But we're certainly in an age now where even the weakest among us, we recognize that they're deserving of care, whether it be physically disabled or mentally disabled or whatever. You try to set up institutions and things that try to help people try to function in society. Society's been civilized to that, but back in the day, they just would have been removed. So again, I don't have definitive answers in terms of things to do, but you should definitely monitor. I mean, just you as an individual, try to get a handle on your stressors. What's really at the cause of it, and how much of that is self-actualized, meaning some of the stresses that we put on ourselves, they're self-induced because you're not necessarily happy or satisfied with your current situation. Or you're looking to the left or to the right and being like, well, the pressure on I need to be somebody who I'm not. And that causes a lot of angst in people. We live certainly in this country, it's a very performance-based society that we live in. And so, a lot of times it's like sink or swim. If you don't, stay in with the masses or above the masses or whatever, then, you're not, you could be easily left behind and deal with the stresses of that. But even for those who are quote unquote succeeding, they don't have it easy either. I mean, there's a price to pay for the life that you have. I was just talking to someone recently who's been dealing with some marital problems. He's got a high earning wife who sometimes can't take that boss hat off, and he wonders, like, man, would I have been better off marrying someone who didn't have any money? But then, having said that, he would, his lifestyle would be drastically reduced. And just looking at what he's looking to do for his kids and things of that nature, he would have a lot of struggle there. So the idea is that everything has a cost to it. I mean, whether you be successful by this world's means or definitions of what success is. There's going to be stresses that come with that you have to deal with. Not everyone can handle the stress of being, on top or being a winner. I was just watching also the Mr. Olympia contest over the weekend in a retrospective, and the guy who won last year, he actually got third place this year. And you would have thought that he was like in the worst situation in the world because he's like, being on top and taking criticism. It didn't matter if a million people gave him props for who he was, it's the one or two that say something negative. That's kind of what he put his attention on. And, so he was like breaking down. This guy's like, even placing third, you're basically saying you're the third best bodybuilder in the world. And how even then that could be a very sad place. Or the fact that he won last year, just carrying the weight of what that title represents, put him in a lot of bad space. And, he tried to play the role and, be the happy warrior and stuff, he quote scripture left, right, and center and tried to, be an example. But, he kind of had said, his wife kind of made him kind of break down a little bit. And he said how hard it was to try to carry on and be that guy, but at the same time, he loves the competition, he loves getting in the gym and working out and training and all that kind of stuff. But the title of Mr. Olympia, again, be careful what you wish for because, not everybody can wear that crown like that. So I think people have to start taking, I guess, better inventory, I would say, of who they are, and being content with that to an extent. Sometimes people like you go out, you're chasing things, people always talk about, I have to go and find myself. And I don't know what that means because you are an evolving individual. Like I'm not the same person I was at 15, 25, 35, 45, and I'll be 55 next week. So you may be disappointed with the person you find you may not like. Or you may not like, you may be disappointed with what you find about yourself. So you're going to have to change anyway. So rather than focusing on trying to find yourself, just accept who you are and just try to make the best of the situation that you're in. I think you'll probably be a lot happier that way. I think you'd be a lot more content with yourself and with your situation. And, but start with the self-acceptance that, you're not going to be this person. I've seen so many people who, like I just mentioned, like one of my daughters, she's always put a premium on, wanting to achieve certain things. And when she realized that when she actually got that success as what that was, it wasn't as rewarding as she thought it was. That she thought that achieving something or being a part of something would give her a sense of accomplishment and purpose and happiness and whatnot. And it seldom does. But it's the constant state of improvement. It's the constant state of challenging oneself. It's the constant state of wanting to be, again, the best version of yourself. That really, I think is, where I think contentment is. I think that's the best thing for your mental health. But, chasing and pursuing whatever it is, whether it be Mr. Olympia or belonging to an organization or whatever, you think that's where happiness is, and it's not. The acceptance of oneself and how to be a better version of yourself every day. I think ultimately, that's where, I think that's one of the better things you can do for your mental health. But again, for some people, especially like I said, my mom's situation, or people who are clinically diagnosed with something, they don't have any control over that. So that's a totally different conversation. And really, if anything, for the people who have relatives who've had to deal with that or are dealing with that, really it's about probably the thing that you probably can have more influence on is those individuals, those loved ones who are dealing with something, because, there's hope there, but for those who are, the true victims of it, I'm not terribly optimistic about outcomes or whatnot. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and things have to kind of fall in place. But I know a lot of families, a lot of people get really stressed out over having to deal with a parent who's dealing with that dementia or some other mental illness of some kind, schizophrenia, whatever that thing is. They got to hold it together. And again, there's weight there also. And so I think those people need to understand. It's like, man, yeah, it's tough, but there's people who've gone and through that, and the things that different things people have had to do to try to maintain their own sanity while dealing in those situations. I think maybe that's where the focus is going to be, needs to be. But for those who are, in the clinics, in the hospitals, and the whatever, they got their own problems. But what about the family members? The husband whose wife's gone, off, or the wife whose husband's gone off. I mean, we talk about you keep talking, Pete, about military folks. I mean, how many of these military guys came back with post-traumatic stress and all kinds of things that their wives have to deal with, or their children have to deal with?
The person to come back from deployment is 99.9% chance you can come back with some kind of PTSD. Now, depends how bad the trauma is. So let's say somebody who's infantry, like CQ, my buddy Wolfie, and some other guys I know, Nemo, and so on. Those guys have a very high end, like a high end of factor that can come back with trauma. CQ is one of the few people I saw that he actually doesn't have any trauma, and I'm very surprised.
That's pretty amazing, because he got, he shared his story. He got shot up pretty good. So
he got fucked up. Let's be straight up here.
Yeah, he got really.
After getting shot 13 times, I'd be fucked up too if it were him.
Mm-hmm.
And like he became Swiss cheese if you really think about it. And maybe when he first got shot up, he probably was mentally all fucked up. I think he had a guardian angels, plus his wife came to his life at the right time, at the right moment when he needed uplifting.
That's what I said earlier. I mean, situations have to break right for certain people. But yeah, if he didn't meet his wife, or if you don't have that support system, or those individuals that came into your life at the right time, no telling what
think like us, all of us on this panel right now. Like, if I didn't meet you or David, I don't know how my life would have been. Maybe he was like boring, playing video games, getting fat and stupid. Okay, whatever. Or I could be doing this stuff and having fun. And in the day, I made two great guys, my brothers. I didn't expect that when I started this YouTube, to be honest with you. I didn't start a million people coming on my panel either.
Mm-hmm.
You never know where anything goes in life.
Right.
So you try it. But with the Miss Olympia thing, I want to touch base on that. With bodybuilding, is a very isolated sport.
Mm-hmm.
Can we agree on that, at least all three of us?
Well, it's isolated, but for most of the guys I've seen, the isolation is the best part. Because again, it's about your personal development. When you go to the gym, you are trying to, like I said earlier, you're trying to make a better version of yourself. Because I know a lot of guys who are not necessarily bodybuilders in terms of competitive bodybuilders, but they're bodybuilders in the sense that they put the work in, and that any work that they put in is for themselves. So they're not interested in showing their body up. That's why you see those guys at the gym. They got the big hoodies on. They don't show tank tops and stuff like that, because it's not about everybody else. But when you put yourself on stage, when you're greased up and oiled up and tanned, and everybody's talking about, well, your body, basically what they're saying is your body isn't as good as this other person's. I mean, that's basically what you're saying. I mean, all the years of work and sacrifice that you made to put in, at the end of the day, it's a beauty pageant. And so that's the part that's hard. And then if you do win, then with winning comes expectation. When you're Mr. Olympia, there's appearances, there's obligations, there's travel, there's touring, there's business deals, and all kinds of things that are supposed to go with you being that champion. Few bodybuilders have ever not done that. Dorian Yates is the one guy I can think of who was like, he was such a private individual. Like as soon as he won the Olympia, he went home. I mean, he didn't go on the tours. He didn't do a ton of stuff. He did some stuff, but not a ton of stuff.
They say during Pump and Iron, the back of the scenes kind of stuff, before Arnold started talking, they couldn't get these guys to talk on camera or interview or anything. They had a hard time getting like,
Arnold's Arnold. I think he definitely changed the game in terms of being not only an ambassador but just the bigness of his personality. But you can see, but he's done everything. I mean, in fact, he was governor. I mean, he's been been a very successful businessman. I mean, everything he's put his heart and mind into, became an actor. I mean, everything he's put his heart. Again, Arnold's like 1 in a million type of person. You know what I mean? There's not, you can't replicate that. You can be inspired by it, but you can't replicate that. So I don't want to use him necessarily as the outlier, but for a lot of these guys, men and women, again, what comes with it? You just wanted to do something positive and achieve something in your life, and you did that. But again, with that comes, especially when you add money to it, there's responsibilities. You sign a product endorsement or magazine publication endorsement. You got to take those photos. You got to stay in shape. You have to have several guest appearances. You have to go to expos. You have to do seminars. You have to do, all those things. And at the same time, if there's like an image that you're trying to promote, I mean, the guy who won last year, he's a Christian guy. He's always putting his faith out there. And for a lot of people, he just gets flagged just for that, just for being Christian. He's like one of them ultra Christian. I mean, like he's always quoting scripture somewhere. He's always doing something. So, a lot of people don't like that necessarily. And so he takes flack just for that. And he literally, this is like, and I got to give him credit because he does a lot of videos, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So I was just watching this video a couple of days ago, and he had a during the competition, during the weekend, he had a breakdown talking about how tough it is. And again, it doesn't matter. Like I said, 10,000 people could be talking about how great you are, but it's the two guys in the YouTube comments those are the ones that, for whatever reason, that's the stuff that lingers with you. I mean, he's got a great wife, great support system, but it's like he needs so much just to be functional. But but you could tell at the same time he's kind of fragile. In watching, I felt for him. I understood it, but he's kind of fragile. Arnold, I don't care. Arnold, I don't think it would matter if you said crap about Arnold or you praised Arnold. I don't think it would matter because
it's based on the upbringing. Because guys our age group, right? We didn't grow up in this social media realm whereby we worry about what other people say. We worry about what we feel about our own perspective about ourselves. Today's generation are so connected by the hip to social media. Whatever that person says on us, any comment, they take it to the heart too.
David, I'm sorry to cut you off, but they're addicted to social media. It's worse than a drug.
Yeah, there's people who are addicted to social media. I can tell. And for me, who actually worked with the first social media platform that ever came to existing, collarclub.com, I understand the function behind it. I find it laughable how people live their life through social media so much to the point they don't know what to tell the difference between reality and what is fake. And they get caught up into the mix of it. Now, do I feel sorry for them? 9 times out of 10? No.
That was fast.
I was taught that you know why? Like I say, I work with on the first social media platform. It is a tool to use for anything necessary, but it's more of a tool for a greater good. But people take it for something else. When I see people out here in these social media platform in these streets acting like a complete buffoon, I don't really feel sorry for them. because biblically speaking, what you sow is what you put in, what you get back in return. Don't get mad if the thing caught up to you. You should know what the hell you were doing in the first place. Like comment, and when people negative comment, I'll look at them like, you probably got nothing better to do. I like a constructive comment whereby it is something I need to work on. I'll go work on it. Yeah. You need to work on your audio. You know what? Got that. I'll go work on it. I'll make sure I fine tune it. But anything that is not constructive, just all about pure hate, or you want to attack somebody, or and harming them, I'm gonna look at it like, they put them in the basement.
Mm.
Okay, let's get it pushed.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I
like
guess I'm a
him,
little bit
it's
more
not to him,
empathetic
all
in
across the
that.
board.
Yeah.
No, you
Right,
could be
but that,
content,
but
I'm
that's
saying
my
it's
point,
across the board.
because I can't judge a generation by what they didn't have.
True.
We're
I
still
get that.
human beings. I don't think human beings for the most part have really changed that much over the millennia. I just haven't. If Arnold had social media, grew up in a world of social media, he would be looking at social media. It's just, I think this generation has to learn how to, probably. I mean, we've gotten so much so fast. I keep talking about this all the time. The last 50 years, the technological changes that have kind of went warp speed and up
Instead of
over
going
time.
this way, it started like this, and next you notice,
Yeah. And I don't
Have
think we've evolved as human beings fast enough to assimilate all that change so quickly. Prior to that, it was like hundreds of years or thousands of years, things would be the
and
same.
the reason behind it, the people who are at the top is shoving it down our throat. Remember, I have to say it before. Look at phone technology. Instead of get used to it in less than a year or so, by next year, the new technology again, what you thought we knew, it turned out too old, too quickly, too soon. You didn't even get adjusted to it though. Look at the educational system. I went to the PTA meeting and I had to watch women trying to navigate on a laptop. I'm like in my head, can you configure the laptop so you don't have to every time sign it every 30 minutes? The way it can be done, so when you're doing a presentation, you have no problem. It has let me know that how much things have been shoved down people's throat for so long, all for the sake of a dollar. New technology, new technology, new technology, new tech. And one of our old folk, like no offense, goes to spot mom. She want a smartphone, but don't know what the hell she doing with a smartphone, and
Hey,
she's
hey,
trying to.
hey.
No,
That
hold on, here.
became a
No,
weapon.
I'm not,
That
I'm not,
became
I'm
a
not, I'm
weapon.
not dissing, but
No,
she
no, I'm
trying
not.
to.
No. My
I,
head is
no,
dissing it because she threw that shit at my head.
that was
So
trying to point out.
it became a
That, I was
fucking
trying,
weapon.
that's what I was trying to point out. She don't know what you do with a smartphone, but that's probably end up turning a weapon that trying to take his head out. I was like, it's like giving a dagger to a mom to throw it at your head. I'm sorry. That's exactly how it looks because I even asked myself, why do these old generation need technology? You need a flip phone. You don't need all this extra button with because by the time you don't understand it, what are you gonna do? That phone
Okay,
turned into a dagger.
my father's is bad too. He goes, he likes his Samsung, but he has an iPhone now. And for 3 or 4 years, you know how many times he dick dials me? Not butt dial, dick dials me. I'm like, dude, how long you have your phone for? I'm like, seriously, you have. I'm like, obviously from iPhone to iPhone, it doesn't really change that much. Let's be honest here.
Oh God.
But Jesus Christ,
No, yeah.
dude.
But
Alien.
but at cause of all of this, right? I mean, I just think all this has a more base reason. If we weren't doing what we're doing now with the consumerism, we'd be warring with people, right? I mean, that's just war. That's kind of how we got here. All these inventions came out of wartime, right? We
I
didn't,
know.
wartime is what created, and now we got all this tech and we don't know what to do with it, so we changed, turned it into something that the consumers will consistently go after. But it has to, there's this thing now, it has to advance, and now it's like the whole idea, like science fiction, go back to like Shelley's Frankenstein, or those old sci-fi books, 1984 and all that. It's like now with the AI, I mean, all this stuff is like predictable, right? I mean, it's, you know, now even we're not enough anymore. You know, like man has to push himself beyond his boundaries. So now we're going into this AI world thinking that that'll be, you know, the next for us. But again, it just comes with more problems.
Here's the thing, Mr. Bennett. You both are in the tech industry. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The problem what's going on right now is the fact that the people above us who are not technically sound are looking for a way to squeeze more money out of people without letting people get adjusted to the technology that's introduced already. And because
You're funny.
and because of that, they want to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing and keep on squeezing and squeezing. This is why I told earlier in the show, if I have my way, if I were to get a couple of acres of land in Africa, I would rather hang my hat here, go back to Africa, start a farm, and live a simple life without having to worry about trying to learn the next best thing because of the people up here want to find another way to squeeze more dollar, more money, and you got people so freaking confused and worry about losing their job over AI.
Mhm.
Really.
What do you think?
Then when the
Here's my
same
thing with AI.
AI come and hunt you and you want us to come and save you from the AI, I say, no, AI, handle that business. We wait when you're
So
done.
here's my thing with AI. Is it gonna be more like Terminator / Matrix kind of shit when it's fully developed, or is it gonna be more like friendly, like, hey, I'm here to help you kind of thing?
Can I be frank with
Or
you?
I'm sorry?
Can I be frank with you?
Yeah,
All
go for
these
it.
corporate owner, all the investors would rather have AI take our job so they don't have to deal with us and pay us nothing and then make all the profit they can make and then some. That's
Oh,
what
my line of work first.
that's what they really want. But in reality, if you want to do them dirty, try this. Let them take all the jobs. Fine. Don't pay for their service. Let that shit crash. Common sense logic. But then again, I forgot. Damn, I'm in a planet with too much dumb people. Don't know how to use common sense. So they'll fall for the okie doke. My bad.
So my job is most headset right now because the food industry has changed so much to robotic. Look at McDonald's now; they're removing slowly the people up front, so it's all touchscreen now. Wawa started that a while back, but now almost every company is getting away from everybody. So they're saying in maybe 5-10 years from now, we won't even need cooks or chefs.
And this is why I say I want my exit route to just go back to the middle where you deal with real people. I want to deal with ones and zeros because they want all the profit in their pocket because no matter how much money you want, you do want more. I'm like, when you do that type of shit, no offense, it's a turn off when it comes to technology. Technology would be an assistant, not to the point you do everything and then some. I get it. I used to be a science lover back in the day when I was growing up. Then I started to see the downside of it. I was like, common sense while looking at it, it's not worth it. You make people lazy, you make people more entitled, you make people become useless. You can't charge yourself no more. You get extremely dumped down. I'm sorry. My brain have been attacked for the longest. When I see some of the dumbest shit, the dumbest argument, I start to wonder maybe they're so full of it or they're extremely dumbed down. There's nothing intelligent about it. When you have dumb argument, I'm thinking about, you know what, let me just go somewhere else and live the simple life because there's too much people are losing their marbles just for nothing. Literally. Like seriously, like who are you kidding? Just like the election. This election is more of a mental health crisis, if you ask me.
Mental though in their own minds.
We had to pick with
Everyone's making it.
we had to choose between stuck on stupid airhead bimbo, who is not black, pure Indian,
I look. I'm not going to
and
argue with you, but
I'm just
I
calling
don't
it as
I don't
I
roll
see
with
it.
that.
I
But
know, no,
you
I'm just
guys
calling
go
it.
ahead.
I'm not about part. I just call it what the obvious look. And we had to deal with the rich poor kid who, with all her daddy money, who had issue about his older brother being the smarter one, tried to claim he's smart, but he's not as smart as his older brother who passed away. That's what it looks like to me. So I got picked with airhead out of control, Dad, I'm just about one. Really? Really? And you wonder why I'm the way I am? I'll be honest. Sometimes people tell I'm the crazy one. Turn around, I'm not really the crazy one. I'm really not. It's too obvious. The way I see it, I look at it as a simple way. Like, why waste your time? Why? And you wonder why people have mental health issues because they put their mind on things are not really relevant concerning their life. What is so
Well,
important for
here's
life,
my pushback
what
on
is
that.
important about life, they don't take it seriously.
Okay, here's my pushback on that. Sometimes we're forced to do things we're not comfortable with, and that way our mental health goes downhill. You know that's true. As
know.
both of us have been immigrants, you know very well. As parents from overseas, they push us to do things that we're not comfortable with sometimes, or
Yeah.
give us more responsibility we're not ready for, or make us responsible for things that is not our responsibility, but they make us do it.
I know. We talked about it earlier. How we had no childhood, and you're being responsible growing up. You had to do a lot of things,
Thank you.
and yet I talk about their kids, my kids' age, who are hustling and grinding, selling, making money, and had to go to school at the same time, make sure they provide for their own household. Dad is sick, mom is sick, they take out responsibility. I know people who had to drop out of college just to run a shop, just so that their family could be well fed. And they had a level of maturity compared to the entitled prick that we have in the country today.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. And
Well,
life is hard. No, it's not hard. Just go to McDonald's, flip a couple of burgers, make a paycheck, take that thing home, help your family, learn settle responsibility, know how to budget your money, then climb up the rank. Learn new skills.
you know what I mean?
Keep it
You know how
doing.
many kids I have trained over the years, and when they see how much work I do, oh, this is too hard for me. Not enough money into this shit. You know, and they come in with no experience. They're asking for what I make an hour. Are you fucking serious? I come with over 20 years experience. You don't even have a hour's experience.
Go
Well,
entitlement.
it's getting top of the hour, guys. I love this bullshit, but I gotta get ready for the big event on Saturday. Me and Paul were finally going to Comic-Con. Please, if you see us, come up and say hi to us. Shake our hands. Mr. President's giving pins and kisses and hugs away. Don't worry, his wife and son won't be there. I'll make sure that. Ladies, kiss the president. You guys, you can't say no to the president. But no, serious. I'm joking.
I'm not as because
I know.
You know what?
He's a married, happily married man and stuff like that. So he won't be kissing nobody. You give your handshake, a high five. He's okay with it, right?
There you go.
We need to make a merch for his club, the 7Bs, the Bald Head Club. You need to make
Hey,
a
we can
merch
sell it
for
right
that.
here on the network too. That'll be my first merch.
You need to have that for real.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it. Like I'm working on merch.
I'm sure a lot of bald-headed guys will be joining the club, and that thing will grow like wildfire.
I actually am working on merch. I am actually talking to somebody right now on the side.
Make sure when you do the 7B, have the 7 ball heads sticking out like this.
Oh, that's a great idea. Don't worry. Listen. Here's the deal. If you come up with the idea, you get commission from it. Simple as that.
Hey,
so
I'm animated with my ideas.
All right. So real quick schedule update is a little different this week because we're going to be missing an episode because of Saturday. It canceled show. We might try to do little lives on the floor at Comic-Con, but can't promise it's going to be a hectic day. We have interviews. We have a lot of shit planned up. Thanks to CQ who helped us up and hooked us up pretty well, actually. Except that next weekend is going to be the right episode. This time is about mental health medication that I have no shit about. So I'm going to depend on these guys to help me out a little bit. And don't get ahead of me, David. Next Saturday, the 26th, we will be reviewing New York Comic-Con. So, David, you better show up. I swear to God, you don't show up, I will find you in New York and hunt you down. And this is the one that I've been looking for a while because this is a topic that came up to me. And I'm actually wanting to bring as many men up here. And I'm hoping female come too. Is why do men want to use condoms? On the 31st. And on the 2nd of November 2nd, we're talking about He-Man versus Lionel, the battle of the 80s icons. Yes, David, I know you have a comment. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I was trying to suggest if you can find a person working in a hospital understanding mental health medicine, they can help you break down on the molecular chemical stuff behind why they had certain medicine that would help. In
Time
kind
out
of
here.
way.
Second. Time out. Paul, you say your daughter's in mental health industry, right?
Yeah.
Does she know anything about medication insurance?
Loosely. I mean, she administers it. I mean, she knows what they uses, but as far as like on the biochemical end, has much study that she has into that. Not so sure. I mean, I think she'll get that full understanding when she goes to medical school. But I know she has to, she's in the psych ward. These medicines are administered, so she would.
Well, let me ask you this question. Of course, if you're comfortable with it, of course, you think she maybe want to jump and maybe have a conversation with us on that day?
I can ask. That's all I can do, and also depending on if she's working or not. Because if she's working, then she's got 2 jobs. So she works at a hospital during the daytime, and then she does like overnight shifts and whatnot at the psych hospital. So it's pretty busy these days.
I thought I was fucking busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, again, I thought I ask Papa Bear, ask Little Bear. So found that. Except that
I'm put it out there. Anyone watch the show if you in the medical health?
Okay, you're breaking up some, at least on mine.
Yeah, you're glitching on us. You were doing so well to the end.
Well,
you're
I'm
probably
glitching?
overheating. Yes,
Yeah.
you're glitching. So I am going to try to reach out to whoever I know about mental health medication stuff. I don't know too many, but I'm going to ask 1 or 2 people I do know. If not, we're going to do the best we can over that. But except that, guys, any final things before we get the hell out of here?
Well, again, I'm sorry I couldn't join earlier, but I think people are at a dilemma here. In that one, like David suggested, I'm just wondering if there is going to be like a mass exodus, a mass unplugging, if you will. I'm just wondering if we're going to be geared up for that, where people would do, as he said, move to some place that's rural, off the grid, and live a much simpler lifestyle, like to actually people to do that by choice and just be disconnected from everything and just live off the land or nature or whatever, but live a very rural lifestyle. I'm just wondering, with all this tech, will we start to see that in the next few years where people just say, you know what, I'm just going to live off of whatever, whether it be in the United States, finding a rural area or a place outside the country. I just wonder if people are going to do that. But the side part to that is, even if you went and did that kind of life, it may feel good for a moment, but then what is the rest of your life going to be like? What is the meaning of life for you? What is your purpose? Because I do believe in a purpose-driven life. And I think for people who disconnect completely, it may be good for a minute. Yeah, like the Amish. Well, the Amish, that's complex in and of itself. I wouldn't want to be Amish either. Those folks, man, they got that culture there, man.
Hold on. Time out. But Paul Better cannot be Amish because he need to put the wig on and everything, put the hat, and not gonna look well with him.
Yeah, they won't accept it. They don't expect too many brothers either. You don't have any black Amish, I don't think either. But
they
that being
black Amish, they do have them.
That is it's rare, but I would.
It is rare.
That community is off the grid. But again, but even I would say this about the Amish though, they are very industrious. So you can't put Amish there because they live off the grid. They live old school, but they're very much in things. Go down to Philadelphia, whatever. Go to the marketplaces and whatnot. They are hardworking. They have a purpose to life, and so I'll give them credit. I'll give them credit for that. But I'm saying, but to go off and do nothing, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the best thing for human beings either. Because again, I think you need a reason to get up every day. And it shouldn't be just to do the same thing over and over.
I'm glad you say that. I'm saying that because for immigrants who are exposed to that type of life already before they come here, we either want to transition back. For those who never had that experience, like, there's like people who have looked up Ochedu Jackson channel, Wodamaya channel, and they try to make that transition. Some would be able to adjust and some could not because they're so and they could do everything easy accessible. Not able to work for what they need to work for or toll or whatever. Everything is different. We don't have this subway stuff like we have here, but you had to commute a certain way because the way I look at it this way is this. The way technology is moving around here, it's going too far, too overboard. It's overreaching and doing things it shouldn't be doing. So if that was the case for me, like I said, couple of acres of land. You want to join me working on a farm? And I don't mind. That'd
Mm.
be good for me and the body because at least I could shed the weight, get ripped, get jacked up, and be that scary black monster.
But
That'd be the
scary
best
to
feeling.
whom? You're not going to be around anybody. So who are you going to be scary against?
Well, any intruder who won't come into their crops.
You're going to be in the rural. I mean, no one's coming to you. You're going to be off the grid.
Oh,
That's
you'd
what I'm
be
saying.
surprised.
I just think there has to be a balance. Like I said, I think
I
there
know,
has
I
to
get it.
be, especially when you're older. I mean, you got to have a reason to live. And I think part of that reason to live, I think it does involve other people. We
Mhm.
weren't created to be isolated
And that is true.
from people. So I think you got to have a balance to that.
And
But I do see coming people who'll just say, you know what, I want to simplify my life and be disconnected from stuff. I do see that a lot of people who are somewhat trying to opt for that, but I don't know how long that's going to go either.
and the thing is, if you notice this, farming is a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, and it's going heavy in Africa because reason why the soil in Africa is very, very rich with minerals and
So hang on a
nutrition.
second. Yeah, before we get too ahead of us, before we get going soon, but the Amish technically, because I spoke to someone when I lived down in Philly, they're technically supposed to be off the grid, technically, but they don't because they have to make their money somehow.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're capitalists. I mean, they're
Absolutely.
So again, they're not they try not to operate modern machinery and stuff like that, but they get it in. And again, they have the men and women know what their purpose is, and they operate in that, and they're satisfied with that. So at the end of the day, it's about finding contentment in whatever it is. I mean, the Bible says, in all things, be content, find contentment.
Mhm.
And I think ultimately, that's where your mental health ultimately lies.
Bingo.
So again, so there's not going to be whether you want to live, off the grid or amongst the people or on social media, whatever. Again, are you living according to your purpose, and are you
Exactly.
doing positive, constructive things? I think that's really where it's at. So it's not about a location.
Mhm.
The only location is really like what's up here, and are you doing things that align with your values and things that are I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I
Thank
love
you so
how
much.
everybody shows up towards the end as we're trying to get off this. I think it's hilarious.
There's a lot of content tonight. I know BMU, he had stuff going on tonight, so
You know
I think
what? Because the other
everybody's coming off
the
and
Grown Woman
jumping
podcast was
in.
going on, and I heard a little clip, and kind of like they stole a question from my situation, and I was like, "Well, they gonna put that question up there?" And when I heard what the lady said, I kind of like agree. Because I was taking care of my kids to see what's going on, make sure to go to bed, and I heard that particular question, and kind of like, so maybe they fit in that pocket. They came over here right now, trying to get some respect. Because I'm not gonna lie, the Grown Women podcast, I love what they do. They have good conversation, and I'm glad what they're doing. We also have our own conversation, sometimes more precise what it is. Because like you would talk about right now, mental health. We're not talking about the simple life. It's not, even though it's rural, but it's not fully rural because anyone who do farming in Africa, you're not really by yourself by yourself. You're creating crops that can be sold to the people in the local who will need it. And you build a level of community and connect with people because first and foremost, if they can buy the crop from you directly instead of going through a third party person, they build a relationship with one another. They know how to get certain things from. That's why I saw that in my country a lot more. People that go to the person who have the source or information, who are the product and the produce, and ask when your next harvest will be ready, so I'll be prepared to get my supply from your XYZ. That type of thing goes on. Cause a lot of people who got their own farm, they come to the farmer market themselves and sell their produce. They interact with people more.
Yeah, they do that
If,
overseas a lot. Like in Greece, they do that too, big time.
so if I had
They
a
get you
farm,
produce.
best believe I'll be the most lively person. I'm like, hey, come get the best tomato. Come get the best thing. My tomato better than his tomato. Come check the quality. I'm like, hey, I make sure my thing's better, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be a rivalry going on, but guess what though? We have fun with it though.
All right, guys. Anything else before we go?
Sure do.
All right, guys. As always, this was Spartan HQ Network. I am the Ghost of Sparta. He's Mr. President, and he is Earthquake,
Yep.
aka
Bear paw.
Bear Paul, Black David, or whatever he want to call himself these days. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the